Welcome back to another episode. This one is obviously just discussing the recent Instagram and Facebook polls that we did run for the top 8 NRL era fullbacks. So, no surprises who was top spot. Before we get into it, if you haven't already, make sure you do follow us on both Instagram and Facebook. We'll be running this for all the positions over the next couple of weeks. So, some great talking points coming out of it, some interesting facts. And then obviously you have your say to mark the best player that you feel like has been in the NRL era. But as I said, top spot, no surprise at all. Billy Slater with a whopping 36.5% of the votes. So a lot of votes. I think it read up to almost about 1,000 votes. So Billy Slater wiped the floor and was basically the best player by a country mile. We all know he has been, and there's arguments there to say he's the best fullback of all time. So there was definitely no surprises with that vote. The equal second, actually, for the next two, James Tedesco. A lot of people say he's the modern Billy Slater and has been for a number of years on top of his game consistently. The other one was Jared Hayne, obviously taken away from his personal life on the field. I think a lot of people are mesmerised by his talent, what he was able to do on the field. I think it was a bit surprising he was so far up ahead of some of these players that I will be mentioning on the video. Um, I think on his day when he's in form, he's arguably the second best fullback in the NRL era, but we weren't able to see that consistently like we have been able to see with the Billy Slaters, with the James Tedescos. So a little bit of maybe some blurry vision there, or maybe just a lot of Parramatta fans voting. But fourth on the list was Brett Stewart, obviously after the equal second there, so he jumped straight up to the fourth position. Brett Stewart for Manly, one of the great fullbacks in terms of just being there at the right time. Is he was one of those real support player type fullbacks and really took that position into his own. And I think it's funny that now Tom Turbo's there and sort of plays a similar style, but just probably a bit more skill involved with what Tom can do now. But Brett Stewart was just instrumental. There's so many of those key victories that you can remember in the grand final, just those successful years with Manly that Brett Stewart just comes straight to mind. Even if you don't like Manly, you just got to appreciate how good he was. Anthony Minichiello was fifth. Then look, Anthony Minichiello, he was, I think, criminally underrated in a way. I think he's one of those fullbacks for mine that even at rep level, just was able to do the job time after time after time again. So really great to see Anthony Minichiello there at the fifth. Interesting one here. This did get some head scratching with the post that was released with the standings, and that was Greg Inglis at sixth. A few people were surprised at that and thought he should have been a little bit higher. Look, all I can say to that is make sure you vote. This is literally just pure fan votes. This is nothing to do with myself or the League of Interest crew. We may go on and put our vote in on our personal account just to have our say on it, but we do not forge any of the numbers whatsoever. This was purely, as I said, all you, the fans. So all I can say is from now on, make sure there is one now on there for the wingers. Make sure you do go ahead to our Instagram and Facebook to make sure you get your votes in. But yeah, Greg Inglis voted the sixth best fullback of the NRL era. I don't think there's any real arguments for mine. I can sort of see how that is working. I think he did spend a bit of his time at centre as well, so it wasn't his whole career at fullback. I think that changes it a little bit. Seventh was Tom Trbojevic, comes in there at the seventh position. Obviously, another one of those modern day fullbacks. A lot of people fresh in their minds, I think. Just injury riddled. That for mine, Tom Trbojevic is one of those players that honestly we could be looking back in one of the greatest careers of all time if he was able to stay injury fit. But he just hasn't been able to. It's been a frustrating career to watch so far develop. Obviously, he's had that remarkable season, the back end of it. Had some classy touches here and there. We just want to see that 100% fully fit Tom Trbojevic back. And eighth position was Maddie Bowen, the Cowboys fullback, absolutely electric. We can't ever forget that combination he had with Jonathan Thurston there either. Just one of those really classy fullbacks that probably in a lot of the other eras would have gone straight, but he was around when like the Billy Slaters was there. in around the Brett Stewarts and that, and he was just sort of, I wouldn't necessarily say he was forgotten about at all, but Maddie Bowen just produced magic time and time again, especially with these quality fullbacks around him at this time of his career and his peak of his powers. I'll always remember Maddie Bowen. I always remember that intercept he got off Brett Kamali in the Origin arena, and yeah, it was just fantastic career to watch. But I hope, guys, you go ahead, go make sure you get your votes in. As I said, this is all fan votes, purely fan voted. I think they've done a pretty good job for this one. Let us know in the comments, though, what you think, and tune in for the wingers of the